and phases to life, which is why I am a curious George. When I was a senior in high school, way back in 1966, my father's great motivational speech to me was, Johnny, I don't care where you go to college because I'm not paying for it. No worries. Lucky for me, earlier in life, my mother said, damn it, Johnny, another mob hit. And this time, they got your Uncle Willie. The gambling joints are closed. Your father's going to have to find a new job. We are going to be poor and broke. This did not sound good to me. So I learned how to amuse myself. Play stickball in the streets, play basketball, and how to shoot with either hand. Heck, luckily we put up a basketball hoop in our backyard. So we got to play basketball every day. And we ran some leagues back and forth, made little tournaments, put in a swimming pool too, just for fun. We built it ourselves. Learned how to swim around in circles. Walked around the block with Mr. Conley. He taught me about business, life, and the stock market. But most importantly, he taught me to hang out with brilliant people who were kind enough to mentor. So, watchword of the day, nice despite the ice outside. Be a mentor, get a mentor. I have lots of them. Hang out with wise people. Mr. Greco was kind enough to give us a paper out, and thanks to he and the Hackensack YMCA, I learned how to scuba dive while in junior high school. I also bought my own scuba diving equipment. I still have some of that equipment back in 1962. I don't use it, but it's a great collector's item now. High school, I made the basketball team. Sadly, I was the shortest person on our team, and heck, I was the shortest person on everybody's team. But did that for a couple of years, had to give up playing professional basketball at 5.5 feet tall. Opened up a stock brokerage account, started buying and selling stocks thanks to the coupon man. Then I went off to college. Heck, I had enough money to go to college despite my father's blessing, thanks to my stock account. I managed to graduate from 2 colleges and with no college debt, a brand new VW bus, and a lovely wife, the mother of my children. We had 3 kids. Sadly, we got a divorce. Paid my child support tied to inflation, my design. Got married again, had a couple of stepchildren, and then had this great car, drive back and forth to work, had a couple more stepkids. Then in 1988, at the ripe old age of 40, my boss came in the office and said, John, if you can find a new job by next Tuesday, that would be great. So what did we do? We negotiated, worked for half pay, part time. Then I started doing what I'm doing right now and have been doing for 30 years or so, teaching people how to have fun and still have money. In fact, we even wrote a book on the subject, Spend Time and Save Money, investing in your family. Now, what to do on an icy day? First thing this morning, I went out to get my Wall Street Journal, like I do most mornings. In another couple of minutes, I've got an investor call coming in to me about a particular investment for accredited investors, which I would be. Now, what's an accredited investor? An accredited investor is someone who makes either a certain amount of money per year or has a certain amount of investments that can be proved. And theoretically, somebody who is an accredited investor has enough sophistication that he, she, or they can actually, no kidding, understand when people are talking about investments and make decisions based on their own individual expertise. It's not always true, but it does qualify you to invest in things that require some investigation. And the world concludes that if you have accumulated that much money, you too can actually, no kidding, make your own investment choices. Okay, what to do when it's really cold and icy outside? Number one, if at all humanly possible, stay inside. Number two, if you're going out to, and yes, I know I only held up one finger. Number two, when you go get your newspaper like I did this morning, and hold out your balance, take little mini steps like we used to do in New Jersey when we had ice and snow. And as my wife suggested, walk on the lawn, which gives you some crunch and some friction, rather than on the sidewalk, which is slippery. And it was true. I took about 3 steps on the sidewalk and boom, I could feel myself sliding a little bit. So I stopped doing that, went over to the grass, walked down. Right now it is raining some more and it's freezing rain. And it turns out that 7 years ago to the day, we had another ice storm right here in Plano, Texas. So, which is just north of Widgerton, which is the next suburb north of Dallas. So, what's the conclusion? What's the takeaway? No matter what it is you're doing, consider taking mini steps instead of gigantic steps. 2, know where you're going overall. 3, if at all humanly possible, plan ahead to get ahead. And how do you do that? Let's talk about, for instance, cold days. Thanks to the amazing weather forecasters, we piled up some firewood right by our front door, cleaned out our fireplace a couple of days ago, so we could have a nice not raving, but good sized fire this morning just to make us feel cozy and warm. We're very fortunate in that our water is still flowing, so is our electricity. Last year in Texas, we had kind of a disaster along those lines. So, 1, take many steps. 2, plan ahead. 3, make your preparation. 4, enjoy every moment of every day. You might as well, considering the alternative. There is no alternative. Have fun, be well. Look forward to seeing you sooner and later.